What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome into episode number 406 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, number 11 Philadelphia ranked, viewable on YouTube, and you know we rub our hands like Birdman, official lacrosse podcast, OTB. It's the Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse pod on the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast network. Classic episode, just me and Deej on this one. Hoots is up in the mountains, shaking hands, kissing babies because he's #famous. We're out here, though. We got a fun episode on deck. It's a little post-Christmas episode. Hope everybody had a safe and wonderful holiday. Happy Kwanzaa to those who celebrate as we record this on Friday. Hope everyone had a good Hanukkah if you celebrate. We're covering all the bases out there. We'll get into everything that went down in the National Lacrosse League last week. We'll preview the upcoming week of games. Plus, we'll talk a little PLL Free Agency as some guys have signed new deals and all that good stuff. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at OTB LaxPod across the board. We're on every social platform. It helps the show continue to grow. When you follow, we're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook. We're on everything, so follow us there. Follow Deej on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. Follow Hoots at Hoot Sports Media. Follow our photographers this season. Obviously, one of them is Hoots. But follow our photographers. I'm going to pull up their Instagrams right now. That way you can follow them accordingly. We got Zach out in San Diego, and then we got our boy Ryan, RJ, Tessier, our guy here in Philly. Follow Ryan on Instagram at RJ Clip That, and then follow Zach on Instagram at... Here we go. Zach Wiens Media, ZACKWIENS.media. They're all linked in the description. Zach absolutely crushed it at his first Seals game for us when they played Rochester a couple weeks ago. So be sure to follow the boys that are taking photos for us all season. And you can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 if you so choose. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. Goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow. Leave a review on Apple. You can leave a comment on the Spotify episode with a 5-star rating, but please subscribe. It'll help us keep on growing and taking this thing to new levels as we gear up for 2026. And, of course, subscribe to both the Underground Sports Philadelphia and Outside the Box podcast YouTube channels. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia is where you get full video episodes of this show every single week, full video episodes of our original 6 shows on the network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. Ladies and gentlemen, the first episode that we've recorded since we've hit it, we hit 1,200. Shout out to everybody involved. That includes you, OTB Nation, for helping us hit that first milestone that we wanted to hit before the end of the year. We're at 1,202 subscribers. 29 more is the ultimate goal for the end of the year. Please subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend, leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, and click that bell icon so you know when new videos go live. And we are 20 subscribers away. 20 from the OTB College Show coming to life this February with Unk and the kids, Deej, Hoots, and Jackie Knight holding it down, covering all things college lacrosse. The video version will be on the OTB YouTube channel, so that is why you need to subscribe. If you want college content from OTB, subscribe to the OTB YouTube channel, youtube.com/@OTB LaxPod. The audio version will be on the same RSS feed that you're already subscribed to for OTB. But if you want that show, we need to hit 100 subscribers before the college season begins. Otherwise, no college show, and we got to wait a whole nother year for it. So subscribe. It's linked in the description for the link to that channel as well. What's poppin', Deej? Merry Christmas, brother.
Merry Christmas, bro. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas. My Christmas was chill. I vibed out. I had a good time. My
I
family.
had chocolate cake this Christmas.
Nice. Hell yeah. Y'all save me a piece?
Hey man, you always know we always got it.
It'll be gone by the time.
It'll be long gone.
And
But,
stale.
you know.
You did hold it so
Hey.
it's okay. But I do know if I been there, there definitely would be a piece.
Exactly.
My family does a saran wrap ball game every year, so that's always fun. And then we did Secret Santa, and my sister's boyfriend got me, so he did well. Cologne and a jacket I asked for, so I'm happy and pleased. Nephew dressed up as the Grinch, so that was cute to see.
Big stink.
Yeah, big stink. But yeah, no. So the holidays were great for me. I'm excited for another weekend of baller sports. The Packers are in the playoffs, baby. Let's go. Clinch.
Dude, all of OTB's NFL teams are in the playoffs.
Yeah, we're in the playoffs, baby. Now anything can happen as long as
That's all you got to do.
Healthy.
Get in the dance.
So the fact that we don't have to win the next two games, and we can rest if we would like to, is great. So we can be healthy come round one, and I would prefer that. So we get to play the Bears again. Need that get back. It's personal for me.
Especially after all that smack you were talking last week.
Bro, because we were... Bro. The crazy part is, we really should have won that game, man. We really should have won that game. But we can't blame nobody but ourselves. That's how I see it.
Sometimes you just got to tip the cap.
No. Not no tip the cap shit to them. Some turn and look in the mirror and be like, did you really show up and do your job today?
Hey, shout out to that company, though. Shout out to that company that made the cheese grater
here you go.
heads.
You always on some
the story behind it is so unequivocally like what we would do.
It is, but like it's some hater shit because it's against me.
It's fair, but hey, smart business.
Yeah, no, I'm not knocking the business. I'm knocking the other side of it. It's just some hater shit, and you always on some hater shit. I just called you a hater. I just called you a hater yesterday.
Yeah, and you know I'm the biggest Calgary Redneck supporter not named you on the planet this year.
Hey, I call you a hater every time you pick against him, so it shouldn't be nothing new.
But hey, you know what you're not going to be hating on me for? PLL weekends when we're on the road together are going to be a hell of a lot more fun because your boy got the Switch 2 for Christmas.
Yes, sir.
We about to be up till the ass crack of dawn playing Mario Kart.
Instead of thumbing on Twitter, I'm here for it. Because it's not like we're not up anyway.
Facts.
We just be on Twitter talking bullshit.
I was just thinking about that, bro. I was like, damn, we going to be able to bring the Switch and the Switch 2 on the road.
Yeah. It's about to be crazy.
And let me tell you, the Switch 2...
get a Switch.
Bro, the Switch 2 upgrades that they did just hardware-wise, such an improvement on quality of life. The original Switch, the only way to charge it was underneath, which like totally fine, especially if like you're using it as a handheld, whatever. But you couldn't charge it properly
and like play
and have like the kickstand up and everything. Switch 2 has 2 charging ports, one on the top, one on the bottom, and a full thing. It's not just a kickstand; it's a full like swing out stand. The screen is like the size of the entire Switch 1. It's beautiful.
Okay.
I am so excited. We about to be running Super Smash Brothers type shit in our hotel room.
Yeah. Can you take a wild guess at the only character I use in Super Smash Bros?
Ooh.
Which kind of means I'm buns. Because I legitimately only use one character.
Mario?
No.
Okay. What franchise? Or will that give it away?
That would give it away. Because it's its own
Fox?
It's its own franchise. Not Fox.
Oh, Kirby.
Yeah.
I don't think that means you're bunk. Kirby's a good character.
No, but he's legit like the only one I can use. Like he's the only one where I can be at my full potential. Like I can use Fox and like a couple others and be like decent, But if you want the best of me, it's Kirby and Kirby only.
Kirby's in my rotation. I think I go Kirby. Not any order. I have Kirby in my bag. I have Mewtwo in my bag.
Mewtwo low-key goes crazy.
Crazy.
I rock with Falcon from time to time. And Saturn too.
Captain Falcon. You know who? One of the newer characters, Pit, the like angel character. Mm-hmm. I got the hang of Pit back in the day. Roy from Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
Who else do I use? Oh, I use the Pokemon Trainer sometimes too, because you can switch between the three. Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard. Yeah, I got to get back on the sticks with Super Smash Brothers now. It's been a minute.
It's been a hot minute since I played, but
we gonna be running Smash all summer, bro.
Kirby till the world blow.
It's gonna be crazy. And then, drop your favorite Super Smash Brothers character in the YouTube comment section.
And I only use one character in Mario Kart too.
Oh, same.
Hope it ain't the same.
Who do you use?
Toad.
Same. I was running shit with Toad on the new Mario Kart when I got that thing open.
Twin.
Toad's the GOAT.
What up, Twin?
Toad's the GOAT.
What up, Twin?
What up, Twin?
Shit crazy. I just had a feeling it was
we locked in.
We
locked in.
They don't even know, bro.
Yo, the new Mario Kart, they got like skins for all the characters too.
Oh, that's
I was like, I was driving around in one of the Grand Prix I was doing. Toad switched up. He had a whole burger on his head. I was like, what is this? What? They called him Burger Buddy. I was like, welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
My name's Burger Buddy.
I had that, and then they switched him into an actual like F1 driver. He had a whole helmet on.
Oh, that's sick.
I was like, this is so dope.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Switch too.
We gonna be out here. Yo, any PLL players that trying to run Mario Kart PLL weekends.
Pull up.
Pull up, though. Yeah, Christmas was dope. And yeah, Eagles are in the playoffs, obviously. And NLL is back. And it's a loaded weekend, even though we still don't have a full slate of games, and we will not have another full slate of games. We just checked before we started recording until week 7. But we have some good matchups this weekend. But before we get into all of those, we gotta wrap up last week. And our NLL wrap up brought to you by our friends over at Buff. Guys, you already know Survivor is one of DJ and I's favorite shows on the entire planet, and Buff, the official sports and outdoor net gator provider for Survivor, they still got that incredible collector box, limited edition, available on their website. It is something that has been sitting in my cart forever since I saw it. You get to relive Survivor history with designs from Borneo, which is Season 1, Pearl Island Season 7, China Season 15, Heroes vs. Villains Season 20, Cagayan Season 28, and Winners at War Season 40. Original designs that are the exact pattern fans saw on screen during its season debut. And it's got that Eco Stretch performance made with Buff's original Eco Stretch fabric, offering comfort, stretch, and sustainability in every adventure. Use our link in the description to shop with Buff and grab that ultimate Buff collection, the Survivor Vintage Collector Set now for a limited time. Use the link in the description to shop with Buff, and we thank Buff for being a proud partner of OTB and Underground Sports Philadelphia. Speaking of Survivor, Deej, you know my sister is one of the best gift givers out there. I've told you this year in and year out. Got me 2 amazing gifts. So one of the gifts was here. One of the gifts does not actually release until February, but she told me what it was. So the gift she got me was all-time Philadelphia legends, and it's 8 trading cards of Flyers, Eagles, Sixers, Phillies players, all on like a plaque, and it's like mounted and everything. Super cool. It's gonna look sick down here in the studio.
Yeah, that's dope.
The other gift she got me that does not release until February is the Survivor, like History of Survivor book that includes everything from all 50 seasons, and it's signed by Jeff Probst.
Oh. You know?
So it's not out yet because season 50 is not out yet, but I was like, holy shit.
Sister of the Year rankings have been updated.
True to roof.
Considerably.
Yo, what if we just started doing that? Oh my god. Sister of the Year rankings is one of the boxies. Your sister, my sister, and then any PLL player's sister are up for grabs.
Except I got to put an S on mine because I got about 8 sisters. So
you're just the conglomerate of sisters.
Which could be good or bad because
they're like the Justice League.
They could just be the most. I'm gonna end up just being right down the middle the entire year because half of them are gonna do things that are gonna go, yeah, that deserves points. It's gonna be like we gotta do our power rankings like Harry Potter house points. Yeah,
it's on aggregate.
20 points for doing this, but you know what? These sisters over here did this. Lose 20 points. Oh, no points this week.
It's an aggregate scoring system. You see, this is why people listen to this show. It's this shit. They don't care about the lacrosse stuff. They want to hear us just.
That's just the
jokes.
Extra.
Oh, it's so funny. But yeah, our NLL Week 4 wrap up. It was looking good for a minute. Vancouver came back to life, took down Oshawa 8-6. It was 8-5 until that late in the game goal there that bumped Oshawa's overall goals per game average from 5.00 to 5.25. Rochester took down Philadelphia 15-11 in a game that got all the attention for an incredible reason. We'll talk about that as well. Saskatchewan takes down Georgia 7-4. And Las Vegas hold on, survive, and take down Ottawa 10-9. I mean, I think we have to start with Oshawa.
Hold on. We got to start with your boy.
Fair.
Finally getting in the positive column for a fucking week. I needed it. Like, bro, watching that Vancouver game, I was like, yep. This is exactly what this season has been for me all year. Why did I expect it to be any different? And then all of a sudden it came back and I said, oh, okay.
This is what winning feels like.
They won. And then the next day started in the early game, and I, like, turned it on in the middle of, like, the second quarter or something, and I saw the score, and I was like, whoa, I'm back. Mm-hmm. I'm not just back. I'm back.
This must be how it felt when Joe Nardella came back. Which, shout out to the boy, wishing for a healthy and speedy recovery for Nards. Looks like he's going to be out for the entire NLL season after it was initially reported it was going to be a 4-week absence.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Brutal blow to one of our guys. But speaking of, Oshawa and looking at this game, Deej, we'll start with the FireWolves because their offense is just broken. I was getting chastised online because I put it out there and said, man, this FireWolves offense could really use someone like Kyle Jackson right now because their guys aren't scoring. And Kyle had, I think, 6 touches in the appearance that he had for the FireWolves, so they didn't even give him an ample opportunity. But you look at what they're doing right now, like they're running guys that are defensive players on offense, and it's just like they just seem so bent out of shape and backwards that this feels so much more like early season 2024-2025 season than it does tail end. And I mean, you look at, our guy Alex Simmons, 13 shots on goal, scores once. Like he's finding his spots. He's just not cashing in. And granted, he's playing against some of the best goalies in this early go for Oshawa. Going up against Christian Del Bianco is not an easy task. Ty Kurtz has been one of the bright spots for this team, but he was 0 for 9 shooting, had 2 assists in the game, but still 0 for 9. Taggart Clark, who, he was touted as like a great acquisition for them, and I love Taggart. I thought he was great with the Wings, and obviously forever in debt for him being part of the trade that landed Brendan O'Neill to the Wings, but he had 1 goal, 4 shots. Like, you need more from a guy like that if you're going to compete. Dyson Williams, 1 for 7 in terms of goals scored versus shots on goal, 2 points. Ethan Walker, 2 goals, no assists, 8 shots on goal. These guys are shooting like 25% at best, and that's not going to cut it in the National Lacrosse League.
Yeah, no, you got to be able to put goals in the back of the net. That's been their problem all season, which is, to me, a fortunate problem to have. In my opinion, I think that's kind of an easier problem to not necessarily dismiss, but to
fix
and to find not necessarily excuses, but like coping, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's easy to go, you know what? I'm a shooter. I just haven't found my shot yet. It's going to fall. We're getting good shots. We just haven't been able to get past the goalie yet. We've hit a few pipes. There's so many ways to make that a positive. Whereas, like, if you're not playing defensively well, there's no way to cut it nicely to say, like,
yep,
yeah.
We can tell you firsthand. We've seen it.
Yeah, there's no way.
Many teams.
There's no way to cut that positively to make you feel good and feel like you're doing the right things to be successful. Like, you feel like you're playing like shit because you are playing like shit. Like, that's just how defense goes. Same thing kind of with transition. Like, either you're creating opportunities and you're winning the transition game. Excuse me. Oh, my God. And winning the 50-50 balls and those kind of things, or you're not. Offensively, you can kind of trick yourself into creating success down the road. So, like, that's the best possible problem for them to have if you're going to have a problem.
And here's the thing, too. Like, you look at the team stats, you remove the final score, you would think Oshawa won this game. They outshot Vancouver by 10. They had 52 shots on goal, did the FireWolves. They went 14 of 19 at the stripe without Joe Nardella. They were 1 for 4 on the power play, and that was equal to what Vancouver did. And they had less penalty minutes. But what you said after week 1, when it happened to multiple teams, you cannot go 15-plus minutes scoreless in the National Lacrosse League and expect to win on a consistent basis. It'll happen a couple times here and there, but you cannot go scoreless. And Oshawa they were up 4-2 at halftime. And then they scored 2 goals the rest of the game, and they let Vancouver back into it, and Vancouver scored 6 goals in the third and fourth period combined, and that's your ball game. They matched your total goal output in a half of lacrosse. That just cannot happen. And to me, the second half is more so just about the inefficiencies of scoring as much as it is about the defense kind of crumbling in front of Doug Jamieson. Like, Dougie Jamieson has been standing on his head this entire season so far, and he's got barely anything to show for it, but the real ball knowers and the real sickos know he's been absolutely spectacular. It's the defense in front of them that has given him no help, and it's leaving him out to dry, and when your team's not scoring, and then you got to get back and play more defense, it's only going to tire those guys out more. It's just a everything shitstorm right now for Oshawa, and we said it last week. We were like, it's still early, but we were like, it's getting late quick. Oshawa's sitting right now in the grand scheme of the season, like, they're as close to the basement as possible, and Calgary has 2 games in hand. Like, Calgary still has 2 more games to play versus what Oshawa has played. Oshawa's played the most possible games so far. They've played 4 games. They're 1-3. 25% of, this season pretty much. You have an 18-game season. You're more than 25% done. You're 1-3, and you won your first game. You're on a 3-game losing streak. I think they have a much-needed off week this week before they come back and play against Ottawa. But man, it is not anywhere close to sunshine and rainbows for a team that's in a new market. It felt like they had a fresh start where like things in Albany were, not as ideal. And it's like, oh, look, we're going to Canada. Like, we're going to have the backing here. And you want to talk about a horrendous way to start. And it's not even blaming all the players per se, but like when your superstars are not performing, you're leaving so much more on the shoulders of your ancillary is not the term, but your other guys that are in the mix, that you need them to step up that much more because your superstars aren't getting it done.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where it all starts, top down. Maybe, look at the coaching and front office and see if everything's being done right there. And if it is, then you have to challenge your captains, challenge your star players to rise so that everybody else will rise behind them. I mean, you can't expect your supporting cast and your bench players to outplay your star players every night. Sometimes that's going to happen. And realistically, if you want to win a championship at almost any level of sports, you're going to need your role players to outplay your star players on some nights. That's going to happen. But right now, Albany is asking those role players to outplay their star players every night. Mm-hmm. That is not going to work. You have to get production from your best players if you're going to win in this league. We've seen it year in and year out. The teams whose best players are in the top 10, top 15 in points scored, or cause turnovers or loose balls or whatever their position requires, are the teams that are fighting for championships at the end of the year, because you need production from your best players, and it asks everybody else to step up to the plate as well. Albany isn't really getting that from anybody outside of Doug Jamieson at the very moment, and that is where their problem lies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pulling up stats here real quick to just see where some guys rank in terms of this season and like goal production. Like, we're into damn near the hundreds when it comes to some of these players. Like, it's Dyson Williams is 55th right now in terms of points scored according to NLLstats.com from Graham Parrow. That's not going to get it done when you're the number one overall pick in the draft. And I know Dyson would tell us this too if he was sitting right here with us. But like, it's not getting it done. He's the number one pick in the draft. He has all of this, pomp and circumstance behind him, rightfully so. He's a wildly talented player. But this is now 2 years in a row, his rookie season, which like you kind of expect that to a degree with rookie guys coming in for the first time. It's that adjustment period where you have that slow start. And then now again, year two, it's feels like it's an even slower start for Dyson, and it's just like, why is he not being put in the position to succeed right now? Like, what is it that is like not affording Dyson Williams the opportunity to succeed? And the same thing with Ethan Walker. We talked about it with Ethan a ton, dating back to his final season in the PLL. It just feels like something is not clicking for the star players on this team outside of Alex Simmons, who is 8th in the league in points, tied with guys like Austin Shanks, Adam Charlambides, Riley O'Connor, Tyler Pace, and Will Malcolm. That's the one guy that's showing up week in and week out, and whether or not the goals are falling remains to be seen there for him. Obviously, he's had a couple games where like it hasn't gone his way, but even when it hasn't, he's still in the top 10 in scoring in the NLL this year. That's not the case for Dyson Williams and Ethan Walker when it should be.
I mean, it may just be a matter of slump. Could be a mental thing. There's a lot of factors that could be playing into why. I won't necessarily jump right to coaching or philosophy or strategy as to why.
Because we love Glenn Clark, too. Like, Glenn Clark, I think you and I both agree, is one of the best coaches in the league.
Yeah, he's done great. The last couple of years of really putting together a squad and what he's had between Albany and Oshawa and making that a competitive squad as well. and I do think he's putting Dyson in the right spots. Like, if you look kind of at the stats, Dyson's getting shots on goal. He's getting shots off in the game. He's getting to spots. He's just not able to finish. So, there, like I said, there's a number of factors and reasons as to why he may not be finishing at the end of this, but I don't think it's a coaching thing or a X's and O's or a strategy thing, because I think the opportunities are presenting themselves. So I can't really speculate on what exactly it is, but I can say I don't think it's that part, because I think he's a pretty integral part of the offense, and they're drawing up plays and getting him opportunities. They just can't figure out how to get the ball in the back of the net. And that's not just him. There's other players on the team that are struggling with that as well, but it's a little heightened when you're arguably the second option on your team and you're not scoring
if
like
not
it.
the first.
Right, and you're not scoring like it.
Speaking of the FireWolves, we did have a voicemail from a couple of weeks ago that I wanted to play from our guy Aiden from the Boston Battery. Maybe it's our fault, that Osh was having some issues, according to Aiden, at least. Here is Aiden's voicemail. You guys can leave us a voicemail anytime, anyplace, anywhere. Speakpipe.com/OTBLaxPod. That voicemail line is open 24/7, 365. So call us with your thoughts, and all that good stuff. It's the How We Live in hotline, so you know how to start that voicemail off the right way. But here we go. Here's Aiden from the Boston Battery.
Yo, how we living? It's Aiden from the Battery. Loved hearing you guys interview with Alex Simmons this last week, but I don't know, after seeing the results of the game, I think I kind of appreciate it if you didn't have anyone from the FireWolves on for the rest of this regular season and playoffs at the very least. Maybe if you can get someone else on in the offseason, I think I'd appreciate that, but would love to not see another 2-goal output from anyone in the NLL, honestly, for the rest of the season. So anyway, I'll, keep listening. Love hearing the guests you guys have on, ideally from the Buffalo Bandits, sometime in 2026.
Shout out Aiden. He's the best. Aiden, maybe we just line up that we have a whole Cannons week just for you.
Yeah, I think
we'll see. We'll test that theory.
I think we'll test that the week they play the Redwoods.
Because if you know, Alex Simmons is the ultimate anomaly to coming on OTB. Yes. That is the most absurd thing we have ever seen. And I am refusing to believe that is the new trend, because we have far more than enough evidence to showcase why coming on the pod is a boost to either your game or your season. Okay? Let's not get that twisted there.
Clock it.
Okay, let's not deter players from coming on this show. Please. When we have had such a run of incredible guests. But I mean, shout out to Vancouver too. They didn't quit in this game either, and they continued to ball out. And you have someone like Marcus Claridge, who comes out and leads the team in goals for Vancouver in this game. And Christian Del Bianco was great.
It's a very Roughnecks thing to do. Like, some random homie just balls out.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, yo, where was Curtis Dixon and Jesse King, who, they both scored in this game? Don't get me wrong.
Curtis Dixon was tied with Marcus and with Keegan Ball for the team leading goals.
Right. I would say, don't get me wrong. They did their parts in this, but, you look up and that's what you see, and you're like, so what happened? Literally, okay. They pulled it out. But it was one of those, the only way I can explain it is, it's one of those games that made me like the Calgary Roughnecks. There is a certain excitement to having to sit on the edge of your chair while watching your favorite team play. Part of the reason why I'm a Packers fan. Everything with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers was, hey, make sure we're within 6 points at the end of the game and I'll get us a win. So I'm here for that kind of vibe, and that's what Vancouver gave off, in this game, was they kind of went to the defense at halftime, was hey, look, y'all shut down, we'll figure out how to get enough goals in the back of the net to win. And that's exactly what happened. So, I am here for that energy every day of the week.
The next game Philadelphia and Rochester, the fireworks game of the week. We'll get to the big headline, but I'm not disappointed with the Philadelphia Wings from this game. Okay, I was able to watch most of the game, whether it be on my phone or catching the tail end. This is exactly what I wanted to see from the Wings in a game like this against a team like Rochester that you, I, and Hoots all have said have championship written all over them. They are a championship pedigree team this year. They have the reigning MVP. They have Zed Williams. They have Jake Piscino. They have Ryan Lanchberry, Thomas McConvey, Ryan Smith. Like, they are loaded offensively. The fact that the Wings made this a 4-goal final, goal differential is pretty damn impressive. The power play performed. They were 3 for 5 on the power play. And you still had unlikely contributors. Dustin Burkhoff scores his first 2 goals of his career for the Philadelphia Wings. Brendan O'Neill led the team with 6 points, 5 assists in this game. That is something that I love to see from Brendan O'Neill, where it's like, yes, we want to see him take it to the rack and score all those amazing goals, but he can also dish the ball out and be a distributor when you need him to be. Blaze Reardon played in this game after all the speculation of whether or not Blaze is going to play this year. Boom. 2 games in, he's back. He scores in this one. Joe Resetarits, 5 points. Sam LeClaire, 2 goals and an assist in this one. Like, there's a lot to Eric Fennell, 5 points in this game. I told everyone Eric Fennell was going to be a demon on this team. There's a lot to take away from this game, and obviously you never want to lose. But for a team like the Wings where there's zero expectation, people were counting them out before the season even started, I'll take a game like this against a championship caliber team where you were in it pretty much the entire game outside of that first quarter. And that's where they beat you. It was a 4-goal game. They beat you 5-1 in the first. You beat them in the second quarter. They beat you in the third. You beat them in the fourth. If you perform a little bit better in that first quarter, either defensively or offensively, we're talking about a completely different game here. I feel very, very good about the way that the Wings played, and it just further proved to me that Rochester is truly a championship pedigree team. Connor Fields had 11 points in this game, 5 goals, 6 assists. Lanchberry had 7 assists in this game, and that goes without saying. We had one of the most electric goalie fights we have seen in a long time. And Rylan Hartley just loves to chuck knucks. Nick Damude held his own, and it caught the internet on fire. And let me tell you, Nick Damude and Rylan Hartley, far better fight than Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua.
It's about time somebody, knocked him out. Been waiting on that for a little while. But no, the goalie fight was great. Like you said, Nick held his own, but also Rylan is
a sicko.
He must have been bullied as a kid. I'm just trying to find out what it is. Like, he had to take boxing classes, and bro was. He throws him. He throws him for real.
Dude, he's like a sorority girl. Throw what you know.
He reminds me of what I used to hear as a child. If you're going to get in a fight out there, you better win, because you're going to come home to another ass whooping if you don't. And that's how he fights. I can't lose, because then I'm going to get beat up again when I get home.
That's so funny.
It's so great. But the energy of this game was a classic Philly-Rochester type of game. You kind of felt like it was going to boil over into this pretty much the entire game. It was an aggressive game. There was a lot of skill here. A lot of offense showed. But at the end of the day, it came down to Rochester simply just being better than Philadelphia. There weren't really many mistakes by Philadelphia, not many by Rochester. This was, for the most part, outside of the fighting at the end, a clean game. They just went out and played lacrosse, and the team that won on the statistical categories and played a better game ended up winning on the scoreboard as well.
And it was equal shots pretty much. Rochester shots on goal 53, Philly 51. Let me tell you, man, and I know you love this because he's a Michigan guy. Nick Rowlett, I love seeing him healthy.
Yeah.
When he is healthy, he's as advertised. And man, it feels like we talked about it a couple weeks ago. It feels like he hasn't been healthy since he took that hit his rookie year in the PLL, and like early on when he signed with the Wings, he was a little healthy and then he got banged up. But when he's healthy, man, he can cook at the stripe, and I only think it's gonna help his game for the PLL by staying healthy and getting these reps in the NLL. It's gonna make him so much better. It reminds me a lot of Justin Inacio, where like Ji balled out last year in the NLL, and then got that look with Chaos and was able to kind of win the job from Nick. And I don't even think Nick was fully healthy going into camp last year for Chaos. And now he looks healthy. He looks like a brand new player, and he's out there grinding, winning battles at the stripe, getting loose balls. 23 for 31 the Wings were at the stripe in this game. That's nothing to sneeze at, because it has been a long time since the Wings have won that many faceoffs in a game, and by a long time, it's been since Trevor Baptiste was donning a Wings uniform. So the fact that Nick Rowlett is out there battling against guys and winning clean faceoffs like that, good for him. That's only a positive sign for this Wings offense and the transition unit. And again, like, it's going to be tough to beat teams like Rochester for this Philadelphia Wings team, where Rochester's just absolutely loaded offensively. It's like you can try to take away one or two guys with your defense, but then they have one or two other guys that are just going to beat you. And it's just about like picking your poison. And again, Connor Fields is Connor Fields. He's going to ball out every single chance he gets. But this game just told me a lot about both teams, and it was a lot of positives more so than negatives.
Yeah, tons of positives to take all around. Rochester can run away feeling like one of the best teams in the league and just really kind of focus on one game at a time and just worry about continuing to push toward their team goals. Kind of block out everything else and just focus on the road in front of themselves. And Philly, I think, just has to continue focusing on being closer together and being that knit. There's a couple new guys in the locker room just getting back to being that tight-knit circle kind of a group. And the rest will kind of fall into place. They're starting to play together. They're starting to, get all the chemistry pieces on the floor together as well. The effort is there. The energy is there. The crowd's going to be there. So they have all the pieces. They just have to put all of them together.
And I think once Blaze gets his feet under him and back, in full action, like his first game was this past game, but once he's ready to go, and shout out to Blaze, he and his wife announced that they're having a baby, so congratulations to the Reardons. There's a lot to be excited about, I think, moving forward, and I think they get a good test this weekend against an Ottawa Black Bears team that they typically have success against. So I'm intrigued. I feel good about where they are after that game. Who I don't feel good about, Deej, the Georgia Swarm. Saskatchewan Rush 7, Georgia Swarm 4. Georgia looks bad. This was a bad game for them. Kudos to Saskatchewan's defense. They held Lyle Thompson to 1 assist in this game. They held him off the goal sheet. Nolan Byrne, their leading scorer, 2 goals, 1 assist. Jordan McIntosh scored in this one. Jacob Hickey scored in this one. They held both Shane Jackson and Lyle Thompson to a combined 2 assists. That is scary, but it's also the product of when you trade Andrew Q, you lose that element in your offense, and it's a very, very young Georgia Swarm offense, and Brett Dobson's only going to be able to do so much. You look at this game, if your goalie holds a team to 6 goals, one of them was an empty netter, obviously, you typically win that game 99% of the time. Your offense just did not show up. You went 0 for 4 on the power play, did Georgia. 4 for 15 at the stripe. And it all comes down to, like what you said with Rochester, they were just the more talented team. And, Jake Naso was back for Saskatchewan in this one. That helps. That's a boost for them. And Frank Chiliano was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, that's really where we got to go with this. Like, I don't want to act like Georgia doesn't have its problems. It does. There's some offensive things that they could work on, and I think their bigger thing offensively is getting more guys involved, making them feel, like they trust them and like they want them to take those shots, like they want them to be involved in the offense and doing more. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't have moved on from Andrew Q. They wouldn't have had Jeremy Thompson move on, and they would have continued to make him into their offense. They trust these other guys, and they want them to get more involved, so they have to do it and feel more comfortable. And I think their offense will start to open up and blossom once those guys, gain that confidence to step in and make those things happen for them. But in the same token, Skiggs was insane in this game. I mean, to the point to where toward the end of the third quarter, Georgia only had one goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter how bad a team is playing, air quotes, they're probably scoring more than one goal by the end of the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the case with Georgia. Why? Because Skiggs was crazy in net. Not because Georgia was playing that bad, but because he was playing that good. And, I just don't want that story to be lost in it, because a lot of people are focusing on Georgia, and rightfully so. It's a big deal. Not being able to score the way that they have in the past. The first few games this season, quite low on the scoring ranks for them. And it really makes you question some of the moves they made in the offseason and if they were the right ones. So it's a huge story. But this is a huge story in its own right, in the fact that this game was dominated really by one guy, and that was Frank Skiggs. And he proved that he's still one of the best goalies in the league. And all this talk about, Christian Del Bianco and Doug Jamieson and, all these other guys that are showing out, he's like, don't forget about me over here.
Yeah. I mean, he's a goalie that helped carry that team. Not carry, but he was an integral part of them going to the NLL finals last year. And I mean, to hold a team to 4 goals in an NLL game is goddamn impressive. Like, the fact that we have had so many goalies hold teams to single digits so far this year is incredible. Dauber being one of those guys too, obviously in this game, but just in general, like Dauber, Doug Jamieson, Demu, Dylan Ward, like we've seen it time and time again this year, and that's just a testament to how good the goalie play is in the National Lacrosse League. So kudos to Frank Giuliano and Georgia. Figure out your offense, man, because when Lyle Thompson and Shane Jackson get shut down, you're going to need those young guys to step up if you want to be competitive this year, and that is not a good sign there from a one-game sample size of that truly happening. So a lot of adjustments have to be made for sure for Georgia's offense. Final game of the weekend, Ottawa and Las Vegas. This was ugly for a while. It was 9-1 at one point. It was 9-4 at halftime. And then Ottawa went on a run. Held Vegas scoreless in the third quarter. And it was 9-7 going into the fourth. It was 9-9. And then Mitch Jones said, I'm Mitch Jones, motherfucker. And wins the game for Vegas in front of their home fans. This, to me, again, I know Vegas won. This, again, Deej, I'm going to say until I'm blue in the face, is more a testament about how bad Vegas's defense can be and how poor Landon Kells has been in his career. And I hate taking shots at the guy because, I want to see him succeed. And he held it down when they needed him most late in the game. But this game should have never been as close as it was for how well you were performing for a majority of the game. And I think it's more so on the defense than it is on Landon. That defense, man, they are going to be suspect all year, and you're going to need your offense to perform the way they did every single night. And there's going to be nights where it doesn't happen. And I feel like so many people are now overcorrecting and overreacting to Vegas's performance in this game, where it was like, oh, it was 9-1 at halftime. It's the offense that was, sold to us in the offseason. I still don't have full-blown belief, because if this was the offense that was sold to you in the offseason, 10 goals isn't going to win you every single week.
No, it's not. We've seen that time and time again. I mean, look at Buffalo, look at Rochester, look at San Diego so far this year. I mean, even
Saskatchewan.
Even Calgary has been putting up double digits every game, and they haven't even won. And literally winless, and they put up double digits in every game they've played. 10 goals does not guarantee you a win in this league, but in the same token, 8 goals doesn't guarantee you a win in this league. It's a weird league to play in 100%, but I think I do want to give their defense a slight shred of doubt in this specific game because it just reminds me a lot of, like, prevent defense, you know, or, like, end of lacrosse game defense where, like, you're just making sure not pick up penalties, not let them, you know, get something super easy, but you're also kind of just playing prevent, making sure things don't get too far out of hand. And I think that's kind of where Vegas went with this game, was like, hey, let's just, like, have control of this game. Let's make sure it doesn't get too far away from us. Let's make sure we have most of the momentum and you know, let's not commit any stupid penalties and give them, like, an avenue to win this game. Let's just make sure we have control of it, which in turn brought out some of those bad habits of their defense, which kind of allowed, I think, gave Ottawa a little more of an open gate or a leeway than what Vegas wanted to give them, but it still worked out for them. But yes, their defense does still have a problem in general. Like, they're going to have to be far better if they're going to win games. We've mentioned that pretty much every week so far this season, and that this game didn't change that unless they're going to play like they did in the first 40 minutes of this game.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean,
the last 20, little rough. But the first 40, great.
And on top of that, too, like, Vegas went out and spent all this money in the offseason. They bring in Chase. They bring in Mitch. You bring in Kluch. By far and away, the best player on the floor for them through 2 games has been Jonathan Donville. And that cannot be overstated enough. Donnie had 5 points in this game, 2 goals, 3 assists. Hands down, he has been their best player to start this season. I know Mitch Jones had 7 points in this game. He had a hat trick, had the game-winning goal. But overall, the beneficiary so far this season to just the new look on offense has been Jonathan Donville. And I don't know. Like, when you have guys that are getting the alleged contracts they got and everything, I want to see more from them. And I know Chase is coming back from an injury in this one, had 2 goals, 2 assists, very good. But Chase Frazier is being brought to Vegas to be a face of a franchise guy. Mitch Jones is being brought to Vegas to be a face of a franchise guy. Kluch is being brought there to be a face of a franchise guy. They're contributing, but I think more so in the case of Chase and Kluch, like, those guys kind of have to recognize, like, hey, we're the guys now. You know, we were in Buffalo. We got to be the complementary pieces to Josh and Dane for pretty much our entire careers. Now we got to be a Josh and Dane caliber player and really step up. And I know it will come for them. But again, if you're a fan watching this team, you can't be so reactionary and be like, oh, this is the offense that we expected from Vegas. Because guess what? This is not the offense I expected from Vegas at all. And I know it will come, but after one game of it, I can't definitively say, oh, Vegas' offense is here. They're gonna blow teams away. They almost lost this game. They almost blew a 9-1 lead. And that can be prevented when your offense scores, your defense steps up and plays. And I think this is a game that will be a mini, like, fork in the road, like, learning moment for this roster as they start to come together and everything and be like, okay, we got to learn from the mistakes. We scored 9 goals in the first half. We scored 1 the rest of the game, and it happened to be the game winner.
See, I am a very different fan when it comes to paying players and production-wise. I don't care what kind of stats you putting out. Is you getting us the most important stat, the W. So for some fans, and they're right, the offense did show up because the offense got them a W. And that's really what they're looking for, is for them to put W's on the board. They don't care if they win every game by 1 or if they win every game by 20. They just want them to win. They just want them to get to the playoffs. They figure in their eyes, they brought these guys here to essentially score goals and win games. Did they score enough goals to win the game? They did. In my eyes, I would be happy. Because that's just how I view the value of a player. Is, are you doing your job to help us win? Did we win today? Did we pay you enough money for you to come and show up and do your job on a consistent basis to win enough games to get into the playoffs? Vegas, in my opinion, hasn't quite done that. But this was one of those wins that, like, shows they have potential to be what people want them to be. Hey, you got to win a gritty game. Okay, yeah, you started this game 9-1. And then all of a sudden you basically gave up an 8-goal run, and this game was tied 9-9. What are you going to do? And then they bounce back, they score 4 more, and they win 13-9. That's the kind of things I want to see from my star players in order to win us a championship. But I do think they need to rise it to another level just based on the play we have seen in the NLL the last couple of years and so far early this season.
And on top of that, too, just looking at like the goals for this season with each team, Vegas is one of 4 teams that are still in the teens in goals scored. The other teams are Colorado, who were in that absolutely defensive battle with the Philadelphia Wings in the first game of the Wings season. They've scored the fewest goals at 17. Toronto's at 18. They were also in a muck-it-up game against Oshawa in Week 1. Philly, who were in that muck-it-up defensive battle against Colorado, they're at 19. Vegas is also at 19. I think we look at those other 3 teams so far this year and like recognize the reason for a little bit of discrepancy in goal scoring is they've been in like defensive battles. Vegas in their first 2 games of the season, there's a lot of room for, damn, they should have scored a lot more goals than they did.
Which is not a great thing to hear, but it's a fixable thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too concerned early on.
And on top of that, they're -5 in the goal differential standpoint as well. So a lot to fix on the defensive end as well, where you look at Colorado, they're in a +2, Toronto's at a 0, and Philly's at -3 after a 4-goal loss. So like there's a lot of discrepancy there, and I think it more so falls back on the defense and the goaltending for Vegas, but nonetheless, Ottawa gave it their best shot. They didn't quit, and I think that's a benefit for them. But again, Deej, I'm going to say it, more often than not, you cannot go 15 minutes scoreless in the National Lacrosse League and expect to win, and that is what Ottawa did in the first quarter. They got blanked 4-0.
Yep. That's a legendary quote now.
Yeah.
That is a
We gotta put
legendary
that on a
quote
quote
now.
card.
We do, ASAP. Put it on a T-shirt, a hoodie, something.
Oh, man.
Put it on one of them big-ass signs, and I would just spin it outside of
We got to put on one of them. We need 47 to come out with one of the big hats that, like, Gilly wears.
Nah, you got to put it on one of them big-ass signs, and I would just twirl it outside of NLL arenas.
You got the big hat on, and you're just dancing to blow the whistle. It's like, you cannot go scoreless.
I'd be here for that.
Oh, that's funny. Speaking of 47, guys, it's the unofficial official headwear of the Outside the Box podcast. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you see I got that OTB John on my head right now. 47 is truly the best in the game when it comes to the most comfortable headwear, apparel for your favorite sports teams. It makes me yearn that the NLL was partnered with 47 because that would be some gas. You guys can shop with 47. Use our link in the description to shop with 47. Check out all the apparel for your favorite sports teams, whether it's NFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, collegiate teams, WNBA, soccer, and so much more. Use that link in the description and join the 47 family, and you get free shipping on all orders when you join the 47 family. So shop with 47, shop for your favorite sports fan, and rock the most comfortable headwear in the game with our friends at 47. Moving into Week 5, Deej. Week 5 of the National Lacrosse League. We are approaching 1/3 of the season already being in the books, which is crazy.
Yeah.
We've got some loaded matchups, some very fun games, some good storylines coming up this week in the NLL. It starts on Saturday at 6 p.m. in Halifax, one of the best rivalries in the league. cross-country rivalry, Saskatchewan at Halifax. And then at 7 Eastern, we've got another great rivalry matchup, Philadelphia at Ottawa. Then at 7 Eastern as well, Vegas at Toronto. 9 Eastern, Georgia at Colorado. And at 8 Eastern on Sunday, Buffalo at Calgary. It's rivalry week in the NLL, pretty much. All these games have some sort of rivalry or storyline to them that connects these teams. Saskatchewan, Halifax, big-time rivalry. Philly and Ottawa's a rivalry dating back to the Riptide days. Vegas and Toronto with the Rob Hellier trade that netted Toronto the second overall pick in this past year's draft. Georgia and Colorado, Andrew Q, Zed Williams. The trades between these teams are a tale as old as time. And then Buffalo-Calgary is a big-time rivalry, a championship rematch from 2019. And there's a lot of just bad blood there, a lot of fun matchups in this this slate of games. What are you most looking forward to in the NLL this week?
Obviously, the end cap, the Saturday 9 p.m.er, Buffalo Calgary going down in the Saddle Dome.
8 p.m. 8 p.m.
Oh, okay. I got a little glare on my screen. Good looking for that. But still, that 8 p.m. start is glorious for me. I'll be locked and loaded this Sunday. Damn. Fuck. That's going to be fun. Hell yeah. I don't have anything else to watch. Oh, no. I'm going to be living in glory Sunday night. Not only will I be hate watching the Bears, but I'll be love watching my Calgary Roughnecks. Make sure you're watching the Twitter feed because I'm going to be all over the place. Saskatchewan and
www.crashout.com.
Facts. Saskatchewan and Halifax should be exciting. That one's going to be really fun. Las Vegas and Toronto is a very 6-7-ish kind of game. It could go either kind of way. And then Philly and Ottawa will be fun as well. It was a lot more fun when that was Riptide Philly, and there was a little bit of banter between me and you because I was a semi-Riptide.
You were soft
fan.
Riptide fan, which we are still looking for the Riptide Eddie costume.
By the way, if anybody wants to deliver that.
Yes. Also fun, just broadcasting news for this week, Deej. Saskatchewan and Halifax and Georgia and Colorado are both on ESPNU.
Okay.
So we've got some quasi-linear television broadcasts this week, which is nice.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I love this slate of games. I think the only thing that fixes it is if we had a full 14-team slate. But like these matchups are everything. Like we're gonna take a tally at the end of this week when we record next week, and see what the total penalty minutes were from this weekend's slate of games, because I can guarantee it's gonna be true to roof.
It's gonna be up there. It's gonna be up there, and the only reason this week gonna be close is because there was some fighting penalty minutes handed out in that Philly.
Yes, there's 15 minutes for each goalie.
So yeah, that's gonna run it up. But this week should be interesting.
Which game leads the league in penalty minutes this week, do you think? I am gonna say Saskatchewan, Halifax,
and I'm gonna go Georgia, Colorado.
Interesting. See, I feel like that might be the least because there's, from the Georgia perspective, there's so much new blood there that like they're not really in it yet.
But you know how some rivalries just the energy just floats and like
we get Dylan Ward versus Brett Dobson goalie fight round 2.
and
Canada's finest.
And like everybody kind of just knows what it means once they like enter it. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, and like they may not fully understand, but once they're getting ready for the game and like they're warming up, like you get that sense like, oh, that's what this game means. I kind of get that sense from this game, and I also feel like they're very similar, and this game may be a lot closer than some people think, which could also bring out some emotions and cause a few more penalties.
Yeah, I think Saskatchewan Halifax just has so much filthy bad blood. Like
that one's
those two teams they always find a way to muck it up, whether it's, Mike Messenger Jake Withers. The defenses on those teams know how to throw hands, and I think there's going to be some nasty goings-ons in that game for sure, especially because it's in Halifax. Like that just seems like fight capital of the world. Those teams, it's something about walking into Halifax. You sniff the air and it's like, I'm ready to go. It's like smelling salts.
You been there?
I've smelled smelling salts.
No,
I've been there.
Talk about Halifax.
No, I ain't never been there.
You describing it quite well.
Hey, it's just something about that vibes from watching it through the screen. You remember back in the day, the Rugrats movie that was in 4D and you had like this scratch and sniff card? That's how I feel when I'm watching Halifax games. I can scratch and sniff the environment. For me, from a Philly perspective, for all our Philly listeners, this is a game that I think the Wings can win. Hands down. I think this is a good matchup for them. Obviously, there's no team really that knows Zach Higgins more than the Philadelphia Wings, having had him as your anchor goaltender for so long. So like your offense knows Zach Higgins, and I think that the Wings are, and I know there's not that many guys that are still on the offense that were here when Higgy was here, but like tendencies, and you played against him now that he's been in Ottawa. I think this is a big Brennan O'Neill game. You got Brennan O'Neill versus Jeff T indoors. That's always cinema. Another game, hopefully Blaze Reardon back in the fold. Eric Fennell has been off to a great start in his Wings career. Sam LeClaire, I think, can have a good game in this one as well. And if you're winning faceoffs, that's only a benefit for you, because I think the Wings have a better transition offense than Ottawa does right now. And if you're able to defensively, and we've talked about the Philadelphia Wings defense a ton on this show, if you're able to contain Jeff T, if you're able to shut off a Rob Hellier, if you're able to shut off a Larson Sundown or Connor Kiernan, the Wings have just as much firepower to answer back and score with. That's why I think this is a big Brennan O'Neill game, because as much as you want to contain him, it's so damn near impossible to contain Brennan O'Neill. He's just got the size that I think overpowers what Ottawa is going to be able to do defensively.
I think this game should be fun, though. I think there's an opportunity for Ottawa's offense to open up here. There's been some troubles on the defensive end for Philly. That's no surprise. So, their offense has a chance to kind of wake up and make some things happen. And Philly has another great opportunity against a team that's been struggling to get their offense up and rolling. For all we know, this could be a shootout offensively, or it could come down to which team is going to step up and make a few defensive stops, which I trust Philly a little bit more to do that than Ottawa at the current moment. But I do think this is a great opportunity for both teams and could produce a great game.
Which, Deej, new partner alert. I think we're going to incorporate it for this one, because guess what? If you want to be the best, you got to use the best. And we are officially partnered with Riverside, our new recording partner here. We are now recording all of our shows in Riverside. They are amazing. When we were going through the odds and ends of switching over from our previous provider to Riverside, we were weighing all the pros and cons, and genuinely there were little to no cons. Every single time we looked at something, it was just a benefit to enhance what we were going to be able to do. We're able to get clips out faster for you guys on social. We're able to get episodes up faster for you guys with the editing software that comes built into Riverside. It is truly the most seamless and efficient way to podcast is using Riverside. And the fact that we're able to partner with a brand and a company that is helping us enhance our company is so vital to us. And Riverside is designed to simplify high-quality video and audio recording and editing for a variety of talking head use cases, including podcasts, interviews, short clips, webinars, and marketing or educational content. Guys, if you want to make the switch, we've been talking to a ton of our friends in the lacrosse space that are looking to start shows and everything, and we're asking about Riverside. We're making the switch. Use our link in the description to make that switch and sign up, join Riverside, subscribe, get your plan rolling so that you can start podcasting today. Use Riverside. Deej, you have sung the praises of Riverside since you logged on for the first time. it's truly been a game changer for us.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds better. It looks better. There's a lot of features and things that make our job a lot easier, and then also, creates better content for you guys. And it really makes podcasting a lot simpler. Like, it's funny that how many people think like podcasting is literally just like turning on a microphone and a camera and then pressing record and then pressing stop and then uploading. Like, there's a lot more that happens in between all of those processes, and Riverside actually makes it just about as easy as turning on a mic, a camera, pressing record, and pressing end. Like, that's about as simple as I could break down Riverside without going into a complete monologue about how good the program is.
And on top of that, it is so cost efficient. It's incredible. So yeah, use our link in the description to sign up and join Riverside. Get your podcast going today. Can't sing the praises enough about Riverside. We're thrilled that we're, affiliated with them now as in their affiliate program, partners with Riverside. So shout out to Riverside for partnering with the pod. And Deej, I think it's going to be the segment we had. It's the Riverside Game of the Week. What's your game of the week in the National Lacrosse League this week?
Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Is Buff coming to the Saddle Dome?
What up, Stink?
It's the Bandits coming to take on my Roughnecks. That game's going to be blockbuster. It ends the week. A very close second for me will be the other bookend with Saskatchewan and Halifax. I think those two are slightly above the rest of the competition, but I do think the other three games will be great as well.
Yeah, as much as I'm going to be sat, popcorn popped, snacks ready to go for Philly and Ottawa, Saskatchewan-Halifax is my Riverside game of the week. They are two titans. Halifax is playing incredible lacrosse right now, too, on top of that. And, I mean, these two teams just don't like each other. It's very evident. They always play instant classic games. So that is my game of the week, brought to you by Riverside. I think with that being said, we head on over to the pick pond. We feed some ducks, and it is the NLL Picks of the Week brought to you by Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Delaware, Pittsburgh, and Maryland areas. You can also find Kenwood Beer at your local liquor stores, convenience stores, and grocery stores in those markets. Again, that's kenwoodbeer.com. Must be 21 or older to do so. And as always, guys, please drink responsibly. Deej, we start in the aforementioned KB Riverside Game of the Week. Saskatchewan at Halifax at 6 Eastern on Saturday. I also have Hoots' picks for us, but Deej, how do you see this one playing out? And for an update on the standings, Hoots leading right now at 9-8. I am sitting at the Grinch's favorite comeback, 8-9. And then Deej, you are now at 6-11.
Hey, I'm climbing my way back up.
Climbing my way back up.
Dog, we gotta stop, twin. It's crazy. It's getting bad.
We locked in.
It's getting bad, twin. I've made this mistake a couple times this season already. And as much as I like Zach Mans and Frank Skiggs just played his ass off, I'm not sure they're going to do that again in the Nest. I'm going to take Halifax to win at home, although I really don't want to.
Yeah, this game is tough to pick. For everyone at home, Hoots also has Halifax. I also have Halifax, so congratulations to the Saskatchewan Rush. You just increased your chances of winning this week by like 25%.
Kinda. I was gonna say kinda because we went 2-1 last week in games that we all picked the same.
That's true. Turning the tide.
Things are looking different around here.
I look at this game, and yes, Jake Naso was back last week. I'm hoping he's good to go for the rest of the season. But Jake Withers is that guy, and he's just one of those unicorn face-off athletes, and Warren Hill has turned back the clock a couple of years. You know, when you have Randy Stotts playing the way he's playing, when you have Terry in transition the way that he's been playing, Halifax is just playing awesome team ball right now, and you're at home in a hostile environment in a rivalry game. I got to go with the Thunderbirds with the home crowd bump as well. So we're all going Halifax there. 7 Eastern, one of two games at 7 o'clock. Oh, Hoots is going to hate us. He forgot to change the dates on two of the things on the graphic. 7 Eastern, Ottawa and Philadelphia. Ottawa, the home team in this one. Hoots is going with the Ottawa Black Bears in this game. I'm going with the Wings. Like I said earlier in the show, I just think this is a game the Wings can win. I think they have enough offensively to combat what Jeff Teat and Rob Hellier in particular will be able to do. And I just think the Wings defense is a better unit. Nick Damude with a better unit in front of him is a beneficiary, and Nick Rowlett is playing extremely well at the stripe. And I just think this is a big Brennan O'Neill game that, like, we're going to collectively on the timeline just be like, we're going to tweet Brennan O'Neill all caps, and then the clip's going to drop and everyone's going to lose their minds. So give me the Philadelphia Wings.
I alluded to it earlier when we were talking about this game. I think this game could be an offensive shootout. I think it could be a completely different way. It could be a one-sided blowout. There's so many different ways this game could play out, but what I really think it will come down to at some point is which defense can make a couple of stops. And I said it earlier, I trust Philly's defense a little bit more than I trust Ottawa's at the very moment. So I'm going to rock with the Wings. Grab a win this weekend.
Which takes us to the other game at 7 Eastern. It is Las Vegas at Toronto. How do you see this one going, Deej? This is a frisky matchup of a veteran-laced offense versus a very young offense.
Toronto's done a lot of great things to start the year. They look a lot better than I think myself and some other people thought they would, being so young. And we knew that, you know, some of their stars would really show out and put some things together. They got Nick Rose back, and he's been playing well. And I think playing at home makes a factor. But at the same time, something about this game is screaming, pick the Desert Dogs. So I did. I can't tell you what it is, but something said pick the Desert Dogs.
I am also going with the Desert Dogs, and I think the thing that screams to me about picking them is they got a win last week. They got that confidence boost, and I know Toronto has a win under their belt already, but they're coming off of a bye, and I just think Vegas is going to use last week as that moment of, hey, we need to be better. We need to play more consistent across the board, and I think this is going to be a big-time test game for them. That back end for Toronto with Nick Rose, that defense, you got Treasy in transition, is nasty. And if you want to beat them, you're going to have to match them in a lot of aspects. So I think this offense, they're primed to go out and score, but it's going to be a tall task. But something, like you said, Deej, told me to pick the Desert Dogs, and I'm picking them. Hoots is going with the Toronto Rock at home to get the dub. Which brings us to 9 Eastern on Saturday. It's the Mammoth and the Swarm. I'm going with Colorado to win this one. I don't know if Andrew Q is going to be back. I don't know if the official injury report is out yet or not. Let's see here. Transactions.
So I feel like it should be. It's Friday.
Yeah, I feel like it should be out, but you never know. I just think the Mammoth have the offensive firepower to go out and perform in this game, and watching Georgia last week was painful offensively. And I just think when you have guys like Will Malcolm, Ryan Lee, and you look at if Andrew Q is back, I think that offense just has enough to combat what Colorado's defense and Dylan Ward will be able to do to try to neutralize as much as possible Lyle Thompson and Shane Jackson and force the young guys on Georgia's offense to be the contributors. So I'm going with the Mammoth.
Yeah, This one boils down to the fact of what we saw last week with Georgia. It's hard to trust them moving forward now until they show me something else. Until they prove that they are not the team that I saw last week, I have to assume that they're going to make it extremely hard for themselves to win games. When you can get an all-star performance like 6 goals allowed from Brett Dobson and your defense and you still lose that game by 3, it is extremely hard for me to say that you're going to beat any other team, including Colorado, who hasn't had the start they were looking for in this season. But to me, I think there's still a team that can be competitive in the league. And right now, Georgia doesn't look to be that. So I'm going on the side of caution and picking the Mammoth.
And Hoots is going a little reverse psychology and picking the Georgia Swarm, which hopefully that is just an auto dub in our books for this exercise here, Deej.
I would like that. I would like that a lot.
Which takes us to Sunday night lacrosse. Prime time, 8 Eastern at the Saddle Dome. The Calgary Roughnecks playing host to the Buffalo Bandits. The Bandits are not going to take lightly their most recent game, losing to Halifax in the way that they did, and especially relinquishing a game on their home floor the way that they did in overtime. I think this is just the ultimate bounce-back game for Buffalo, and a lot is going to come down to the number one Calgary Roughnecks supporter outside of DJ Hughes right here. We're bigger supporters than anybody in Calgary. I just think this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that J.I. is going to face off against an actual face-off athlete this year in Connor Farrell, and Connor Farrell has revitalized his.
He had Naso.
Naso was out that first game.
Was he? Yeah, you're right. He was.
Naso's first game was this past week.
Yep.
Which, no slight to J.I., I'm just intrigued to see how he matches up against a bigger body like Connor Farrell. And Buffalo's offense is Buffalo's offense. They have Tahoka, they have Josh Byrne, they have Dane Smith. And I think those guys going up against a young offense. I'm intrigued to see what Calgary's young offense is going to be able to do against that defense and against Matt Vince, because I think Maia can really put on a show in this game. But I'm going with Buffalo, and Hoots is also going with Buffalo.
I mean, I'm rocking with the Roughnecks.
He said, I don't care about my 6-11 record. I'm going down with this ship.
That's part of the reason why I got a 6-11 record. And I'm okay with it.
What's that? 6-11.
But no, my boy's gonna get it done this weekend. I got trust in him.
I would like to see it.
The thing that I like about this team is that they have consistently shown up. The 2 games that they have lost this year have been competitive games that they very easily could have won. In fact, one of them they should have won if it weren't for their own mistakes late in that game. So yeah. I don't think that this team is far away from having all of the pieces they need to be right there with the Rochesters, the Saskatchewans, the Buffaloes, the Torontos, the Colorados, the ones that are winning games on a consistent basis and making a push for the playoffs. Calgary is literally right on the outside of that.
I mean, just looking at the standings right now and the teams that are all below 500, not including the teams that are 500, Ottawa's 1-2, Georgia's 1-2, Oshawa's 1-3, Calgary's 0-2. Calgary is the second best team in that grouping behind Ottawa in my book, and that's simply because they have Jeff Teat and Rob Hellier on their roster, and they have Zach Higgins. Outside of that, I think Calgary's played better than Oshawa has this year. I think they've played better than Georgia has this year, and they're right there with Ottawa in terms of pace of play and the way that they have been able to execute this year. It's just they haven't come out with a win yet, and it's 2 games in. It's very possible that they can go out and win because we know the National Lacrosse League is the ultimate parity league. So I will not be surprised if Calgary comes away victorious in this game, and we're talking about the Calgary Roughnecks in a much different vein next week than we are right now. And it's not even that we're talking poorly about them, because if you listen to this show, Deej and I have been the most on board with the Calgary Roughnecks this year, just like we have been with the Wings in terms of this is just a free-for-all season. Let's see what happens. And so far, both of those teams we have felt incredibly positive about.
Playing with house money.
Playing with the house money right there. I really am intrigued for that matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun. But here are our picks of the week. I am going with Halifax, Philly, Vegas, Colorado, and Buffalo. Deej, you have Halifax, Philly, Vegas, Colorado, Calgary. And Hoots has Halifax, Ottawa, Toronto, Georgia, and Buffalo. Hoots just trying to bury us. Man, it could be a real bad week if Hoots' picks go the way that he has.
I say it's actually kind of crazy that I think for the first time in a while, have 3 completely different set of picks.
Yeah, that's kind of bonkers. The only game we agreed on was Halifax,
yes.
Which means Saskatchewan is winning.
Probably.
So there you have it, our NLL Week 5 Picks of the Week, brought to you by Kenwood Beer. The last bit here is PLL Free Agency, guys. And before we get into that, I want to talk to you about our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company, guys. There's no better way to stand out in the crowd this NLL season, college season, PLL season, than with our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. I'm wearing the Underground Sports Philadelphia hoodie right now. Absolutely comfortable. It's so warm, so comfy. They're truly the best in the game. There's no doubt in our minds you will stand out in the crowd rocking your favorite lacrosse player's favorite lacrosse podcast merch. Go to phiapparel.co, and when you go to checkout, use code UNDERGROUND to get 10% off your next merch order from our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Again, that's code UNDERGROUND at phiapparel.co to get 10% off your next merch order and stand out in the crowd with the official merch partner of the Outside the Box podcast and Underground Sports Philadelphia. Also want to talk to you guys about our awesome PLL app code. Guys, the PLL app is your one-stop shop for PLL free agency and, quite frankly, anything going on in the PLL all year round, from articles from the beat writers to behind-the-scenes videos, press conferences, up to the second news about the league. It's all in the PLL app. It's gamified, too, so you earn experience points in the app for completing tasks, which goes towards benefits like PLL shop discounts, like unlocking ESPN Plus subscriptions, a whole lot more. Download the PLL app in the App Store or Google Play Store, and when you go to the redeem code section, use code OTBPOD. That's code OTBPOD, and you get 500 XP on your account, which I'm pretty sure levels you up if you're a new user from level 1 to level 2 instantly. So download the PLL app in the App Store, Google Play Store, and redeem code OTBPOD for 500 XP on your account, and keep up to date with everything going on in the PLL all year round in the PLL app. PLL free agency still underway. Obviously, this is the first window before Champ Series. Some big news. Not anything to the level of Gavin Adler news, but in terms of the Carolina Chaos, we'll start with a lot of re-signings since we last recorded. Cole Williams, I think, was back under contract, but officially confirmed, according to the PLO website, he is back with the Chaos for 2026. Chris Aslanian is back as well in 2026 for Carolina. Cross Ferrara has re-signed for 2026. We were talking pre-pod. I didn't even think about it. He's going to be awesome in Champ Series.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him. He's got the speed and the athleticism, the shot, the creativity to be great in sixes. I'm interested to see what his defense is going to be like. I mean, he was a pretty decent riding attackman when it came to college and a little bit in the pros. So that part will be interesting to see. But offensively, he's got Golden Stick mentality for sure. So it'll be fun to see him in a Chaos jersey come February for the Champ Series for sure.
Sergio Perkovic, Perk 30, is back with Chaos through 2026 as well, which keeps us super intrigued to see if Miles Jones will be going to Chaos with his cryptic Instagram post that we saw. BJ Farrar, back with the Redwoods on a 2-year deal through 2027. Chris Fake, I think we talked about him last week, but it's official through 2028. So a 3-year deal for Chris Fake, 3-year deal for Chris Conlon as well. He gets signed through 2028. That's a big time bolstering of that young defense for the California Redwoods with those three guys in the fold through 2027 for BJ and then 2028 for Chris, and both Chris's. Chris squared. There's too many Chris's on the Redwoods.
Yes. Way too many.
Or spin zone. You can never have too many Chris's.
No, there's too many.
At least all the Chris's on the Redwoods are elite.
Yes.
Chris Fake, Chris Conlon, Chris Cav, Chris Collins, all elite. Nothing else out of Redwoods camp just yet. Water Dogs, Thomas McConvey and Alex Stathakis back through 2026. Love both of those moves for the Water Dogs, especially McConvey. We talked about it last week when we were talking about Bubba Fairman, that like he was going to be a hot commodity, we felt like, as a 25-year-old midfielder, especially coming off the season he had last year for Philly. So for the Water Dogs to get him back for that offense, I think is a huge get for what they're going to be able to do in 2026.
Yeah, I like really what all these teams did, kind of just reloaded on the talent that got them where they were the last couple of years. And, you know, you look to build on that talent and build on the success you've had and then add new faces in the draft. So personally, especially with the Redwoods and Chaos, with the seasons they had this year, getting back into the top four and making a champ series, there's no reason not to try and, you know, reload most of those rosters and go back at it again.
And then some moves for the Whip Snakes. Colin Heacock is back with the Whips through 2026, as is Jake Bernhardt. So two vets going back to the Whips on what is a relatively young team across the board, but good get-backs. I hope Colin can have like a consistent season, because if he can go out there and perform in that midfield as kind of a big body and really use his talents and strengths to the best of his ability, that's going to be a huge benefit for that Whip Snakes offense that I think just needs a guy of his skill set running out there every single week for them.
Yeah, I mean, if he can add some size to Aiden Carroll and Matt Brandau that they have already in the midfield, maybe they get Brad Smith back playing at a high level again.
Obviously, TJ.
Yeah, TJ's there at attack, but you know, that midfield could be really, really good for them. I mean, Levi Anderson's there as well. If they're able to you know, really get production from multiple pieces there. And the cool thing is they all provide very different styles in the midfield as well. The bruising, downhill dodger with slick passing that you get in Heacock is not what you get in the other four midfielders that they have there.
And then a couple of moves for the Boston Cannons. Official, Connor Kirst is back through 2026, and Tucci Main, Zach Tucci, re-signed through 2026 as well. And then Brett Makar, Brian Costabile, official. Brett Makar signed through 2027, Costabile through 2028. I think the big crazy thing for me so far in this PLL free agency window, I don't know if you feel the same way, Deej, the Archers haven't signed anybody yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
And they have a ton of free agents, from Cam Wires to some of the other guys that are not 30% threshold guys. Warren Jeffrey, Ryan Ambler, Graham Hosick, and I know he's a 30% guy, but John Robbins, like, he's been an integral part of that Archers team for the last 4 years. There's a lot of big names from that Archers team that I feel like will be back, and we talk about it all the time. Bates is one of the best head coach GM combos in the league. It's just interesting to me that they haven't signed anybody, and nobody from their team outside of Colby Bars has been signed away, which we talked about last week. He's going to the Cannons, but everyone else still out in the open in free agency from the Utah Archers as they prepare to draft number 1 overall.
I also don't think they're in a rush. I think that's part of it, and they don't necessarily need to be in a rush. As you see, a lot of people are tightening up their rosters, re-signing a lot of guys. And a lot of guys in Utah have expressed interest in staying in Utah, not wanting to play anywhere else. And then they have that number 1 draft pick, too, so they can use that as leverage during free agency and during the draft. So I think Bates is just being himself, taking his time, weighing all his options, and being really strategic about all his moves. So it doesn't shock me or bother me or concern me that they haven't made any moves yet. Now, if we're still the end of February after Champ Series, beginning of March, having this conversation, it might be a little more worrisome. But for now, I think there's still just so much time and a lot of deliberation happening to really hit any alarms or panic buttons about them not signing anyone.
Yeah, and on the flip side, Greg Weil, the only player that the Outlaws have re-signed so far, but they did make 3 moves this past week, right before Christmas, to add to their Champ Series roster. They signed 3 players, Ryan Cohen, Fulton Bayman, and Lance Madonna, to Championship Series contracts. It was Denver's first wave of new additions for the tournament. None of them have full PLL experience, although Ryan Cohen spent time in training camp with the Whipsnakes. How do you feel about these moves? Obviously, you love a Michigan man being added to a roster. You love a Richmond Spider being added to a roster. But 3 big moves for relatively, in terms of PLL experience, unknown guys. How do you feel about the moves that the Outlaws made here for Champ Series?
They're pandering, not knowing that there's real West Coast beef, because I'm a Woods fan, so y'all can do all the pandering you want, but it's Woods all the way, baby. Roll them. But in other news, I think this is 3 great opportunities for guys to go out and, show the league what they have to offer and see if they can nab a spot somewhere. But at the same time, it's also just 3 guys that have the skill sets for 6s. Fast guys, speedy guys, great handles. Defensively, up in the air, and that's okay. But because at the same time, we've seen where there isn't a ton of defense being played in 6s. It's a lot of good shots and a lot of good saves. So at the same time, you don't necessarily need them to be great defensively. If they can score a handful of goals to make up for their lack on the defensive end, it kind of doesn't matter. And I think that's what you see in these guys, the potential to create a lot of offensive production, and teams could kind of deal with the back end defensively if they're going to be great offensively.
And Topher Adams, the Outlaws beat writer, wrote about this in the article that's on the PLO website and in the PLO app. He talked about how Lance Madonna is the furthest removed from his college career, played his senior season at Richmond in 2024. But, Deej, I think this is a big thing for Madonna in particular because there's a connection to the Outlaws' actual roster. And if he can perform in Champ Series, who's to say he doesn't get an invite to training camp because his running mate through his career with Richmond, Dalton Young.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm sure he'll be happy to get back with him and Dalton to be back. Well, they won't see each other unless he grabs a spot because Dalton will be playing box. But,
right,
there's some things for him to look forward to and to try and keep in the back of his mind to motivate him to give his best. Not that he wasn't already going to do that, but those extra nuggets always help in moments like those.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are all really good moves in terms of point scores. For Champ Series, Cohen had 46 points in 2025 for Michigan, and he's one of the most productive players in Michigan lacrosse history. He ranks 2nd in career points and 1st in assists. To me, any program where you are a leading point scorer, I think you should get some sort of look on a PLL roster, whether it's Champ Series or in training camp. So I think these are all quality signings for a Champ Series roster that's going to need a lot of work because a lot of guys are not going to be available, whether it's coaching or playing in the NLL.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about Champ Series is, we've mentioned it time and time again, is it gives a couple more guys a shot because of the timing of it and who's available and who isn't. So these guys got to get their shot, take advantage of that.
Yeah, so we'll see if we get any more just Championship Series exclusive contracts in the coming weeks. But I think that was the first wave there. So we'll see how that continues to roll out for some of these teams, being the New York Atlas, who will also need quite a few players. Obviously, no Jeff Teat, no Reed Bowering, no Gavin Adler now. And obviously, the Redwoods, they're going to be the most fascinating with how they kind of just construct that roster and which guys will be available for them. And hopefully we see our guy JB34 rocking and rolling because I think he is built for Champ Series. And the Carolina Chaos are going to be fascinating as well with the guys that they'll have available to them. And hopefully somebody like Jackson Eicher will be able to play. That would be a lot of fun because I think his game fits sixes really well too, and we'll see if he gets a chance. Obviously his commitments are beyond the lacrosse field, so we'll see what happens there. But looking forward to Champ Series as that gets closer and closer. But Deej, any final thoughts before we head on up out of here? Another week of NLL action on deck.
Go Roughnecks.
The ultimate final thought.
It's mandatory.
Yeah, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at OTB Lax Pod across the board. Subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. Goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow, helps us continue to do more dope stuff with and for you guys. So please keep subscribing, be a friend, tell a friend, and subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia and Outside the Box podcast YouTube channels, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia, youtube.com/@OTBLaxPod. 20 more subscribers on the OTB channel. Get you the OTB College Show with Deej, Hoots, and Jackie Knight. And 29 more subscribers on the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel gets us to our year-end goal of doubling our entire subscriber count from all of 2024. So if you want to see us hit a dope milestone, which allows us to just create more dope content with and for you guys and allows companies to see that, like, hey, this is a growing and thriving company, and you want to see us succeed, you want to see us do OTB and Underground full time, subscribe. This has been episode number 406. Is this the... we'll record before, but I think the next... Wait a goddamn second. Holy moly.
Happy New Year.
Happy fucking New Year, you filthy animals. That's crazy.
I was
Last
waiting for you to
episode.
figure it out.
I wasn't sure when we were going to be recording, and I was like, when we would release it, but I was like, wait a goddamn minute. Happy New Year, you filthy animals. We love you guys. We'll be recording in 2025, but we'll see you in 2026. But until then, this has been episode number 406 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, number 11 Philadelphia ranked, and of course viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. For Deej, I'm KB. Enjoy this weekend of NLL action. We'll see you in the new year, everyone. But until then, we're getting the heck up out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Come on. I hit stop like 6 times. What is happening here? Will it let you hit stop?